Namaste to all. Ram, Ram, Ram. Thank you for waiting. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Today is the 22nd class of Sundara Kandam. We will be starting with Sarga 4 today. Hanuman, who took a sankalpa to find Sita Devi, flew over the ocean in Sarga 1. He kind of landed in Lanka and then was enjoying the city. And then in Sarga 3 encountered Lankini. And finally, now he has the permission to tour around the city. Today, we will see what happens when Hanuman is going around the city. We will do the Dhyana Shloka and then continue. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vighnopashantaye Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Buddhirbalam yashodhairyam nirbhayatvam arogata ajadyam vakpatutvam cha hanumat smaranad bhavet manojavam marutatulya vegam jitendriyam buddhimatam varishtham vatatmajam vanarayutha mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakāņjalim Bāshpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Kūjantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakha Bande Valmiki Kokilam. Sundara Kandam, Sarga 4, Chaturtha Sargaha, Lankayam Paribhramanam. Lankayam, in the city of Lanka, Paribhramanam means he is looking around, he is going around. Who is slated to repeat after me today? Namaskar.
Namaste, Didi. Thank you.
Namaskar. Ram, just give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Sanirjitya Purim Shreshtham
Sanirjitya Purim Shreshtham
Lankam Tam Kamarupini
Lankam Tam Kamarupini
Vikramena Mahateja
Vikramena Mahateja
Hanuman Kapisattamah
Hanuman Kapisattamah
Advarena Mahabahuhu
Advarena Mahabahuhu.
Very good. प्राकारमभिपुप्लुवे
प्राकारमभिपुप्लुवे
स निर्जित्य पुरीं श्रेष्ठां लङ्कां तां कामरूपिणीम्
स निर्जित्य पुरीं श्रेष्ठां लङ्कां तां कामरूपिणीम्
विक्रमेण महातेजा हनुमान् कपिसत्तमः
विक्रमेण महातेजा हनुमान् कपिसत्तमः
अद्वारेण महाबाहुः प्राकारमभिपुप्लुवे
अद्वारेण महाबाहुः प्राकारमभिपुप्लुवे
वेरी गुड प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्काम्
प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्काम्
कपिराजहितङ्करः
कपिराजहितङ्करः
चक्रेथ पादं सव्यं च
चक्रेथ पादं सव्यं च
शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि
शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि
वेरी गुड प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्कां कपिराजहितङ्करः
प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्कां कपिराजहितङ्करः
चक्रेथ पादं सव्यं च शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि
चक्रेतं पादं सव्यं च
नो वन मोर टाइम
शत्रु चक्रेत पादं सव्यं च शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि
वेरी गुड प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो
प्रविष्टसत्त्वसम्पन्नो
you have to say an additional sakarah there pravishta sattvasampanno
प्रविष्टसत्त्वसम्पन्नो
निशायां मारुतात्मजः
निशायां मारुतात्मजः
समहापथमास्थाय
स महापथमास्ताय
मुक्ता पुष्पविराजितम्
मुक्ता पुष्पविराजितम्
वेरी गुड प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो निशायां मारुतात्मजः
प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो निशायां मारुतात्मजः
समहापथमास्थाय मुक्ता पुष्पविराजितम्
स महापथमास्थाय मुक्ता पुष्पविराजितम्
ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्काम्
ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्काम्
the next one we will split the makara it is easier रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
it is a little tongue twisting there रम्याम् अभिययौ instead of that रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
correct ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्काम् रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्काम् रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः
वेरी गुड हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः
हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः
one more time
हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः
सूर्यघोषपुरःसरैः
सूर्यघोषपुरःसरैः
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाश्चैश्च
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाश्च शैश्च
निकाशैश्च निकाशैः च, that is the split there. वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च
वज्राङ्कुशनिशाशैश्च
निकाशैश्च
निकाशैश्च
वज्रजालविभूषितैः
वज्रजालविभूषितैः
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च
वज्रजालविभूषितैः
वज्रजालविभूषितैः
गृहमुख्यैः पुरीरम्या
गृहमुख्यैः पुरीं रम्या
पुरीरम्या
पुरी रम्या
बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः.
द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
It is id plus ya, dyau. Vidya, dya, dyau. Dyaurivambudaihi. Grihamukyaiः purirambya.
गृहमुख्यै पुरीरम्या
Babhase dyaurivambudaihi.
भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
There is a dvitva here also, so you have to say it together. Babhase dyaurivambudaihi.
भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
Very good. हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः तूर्यघोषपुरःसरैः
हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः तूर्यघोषपुरःसरैः
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च वज्रजालविभूषितैः
वज्राकुशनिकाशैश्च वज्राकुशनिकाशैश्च वज्रजालविभूषितैः
One more time.
वज्राकुशनिकाशैः
Vajrang. Vajrang. It is Vajra Ankusha Nikashaihi cha. That is the split there.
ओके दीदी वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च वज्रजालविभूषितैः
Very good. गृहमुख्यैः पुरीरम्यां बभासे द्योरिवाम्बुदैः
गृहमुख्यै पुरीरम्या भभासे धौरिवा गृहमुख्यै पुरीं रम्या भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
What are you pronouncing here? गृहमुख्यैः
फ फ फ
Okay. You were breaking out there. गृहमुख्यैः पुरीरम्यां बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
गृहमुख्यै पुरीरम्या भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
Excellent. प्रज्ज्वालपुरीलङ्का रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः
प्रज्ज्वालपुरीलङ्कां रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः
प्रज्ज्वालपुरीलङ्का रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः
प्रज्ज्वालपुरीलङ्का रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः
Very good. सीताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः
सिताभ्रस्दृशै
सीताभ्र सदृशैः चित्रैः सीताभ्र सदृशैश्चित्रैः
सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः
one more time सीताभ्र
सिताभ्र
सदृशैश्चित्रैः
सदृशैश्चित्रैः
सीताभ्र सदृशैश्चित्रैः
सिताभ्रस्
सीताभ्र
सिताभ्र सदृशैश्चित्रैः
करेक्ट सीताभ्र सदृशैश्चित्रैः
सिताभ्र सदृशैश्चित्रैः
वेरी गुड पद्मस्वस्तिक संस्थितैः
पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
करेक्ट वर्धमानगृहैश्चापि
वर्धमानगृहैश्चापि
सर्वतः सुविभूषिता
सर्वतः सुविभूषिता
करेक्ट गृहमुख्यैः पुरीभूयो
गृहमुख्यैः पुरीभूयो
बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
बभासे धौरिवाम्बुदैः
one more time little slower last line
बभासे धौरिवाम्बुदैः
बभासे द्यौ
बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
करेक्ट सीताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः
take a pause after सीताभ्र सीताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः it will be easier
ओके सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः
very good
पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
you have to say the is twice here पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
one more time
पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
full line
सिताभ्रसदृशै सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः
very good वर्धमानगृहैश्चापि सर्वतः सुविभूषिता
वर्धमानगृहैश्चापि सर्वतः सुविभूषिता
very good गृहमुख्यैः पुरीभूयो बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
गृहमुख्यैः पुरीभूयो बभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
very good तां चित्रमाल्याभरणाम्
तां चित्रमाल्याभरणाम्
कपिराजहितङ्करः
कपिराजितहङ्करः
one more time
कपिराजितहङ्करः
कपिराजहितङ्करः
कपिराजहितङ्करः
राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान्
राघवार्थ राघवार्थम राघव
Tham.
राघवार्थम चरण श्रीमान
Charan.
charan
Shriman.
there is no aga of sh over na, no.
It is only Charan. Means he is moving.
Hmm.
Raghavartham Charan Shriman.
राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान्
ददर्श च ननन्द च
ददर्श च नन्द च
ददर्श च ननन्द च
ददर्श च ननन्द च
तां चित्रमाल्याभरणां कपिराजहितङ्करः
तां चित्रमाल्याम्भरणां कपिराजहितङ्करः
राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान् ददर्श च ननन्द च
राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान् ददर्श च ननन्द च
भवनात् भवनं गच्छन्
भवनात् भवनं गच्छन्
ददर्श पवनात्मजः
ददर्श पवनात्मजः
विविधाकृतिरूपाणि
विविधाकृतिरूपाणि
भवनानि ततस्ततः
भवनानि ततस्ततः
भवनात् भवनं गच्छन् ददर्श पवनात्मजः
भवनात् भवनं गच्छन् ददर्श पवनात्मजः
विविधाकृतिरूपाणि भवनानि ततस्ततः
विविधाकृतिरूपाणि भवनानि ततस्ततः
वेरी गुड शुश्रावमधुरं गीतम्
शुश्रावमधुरं गीतम्
त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम्
त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम्
स्त्रीणां मदसमृद्धानां
स्त्रीणां मदसमृद्धानां
दिवि चाप्सरसामिव
दिवि चाप्सरसामिव
करेक्ट शुश्रावमधुरं गीतं त्रिस्थानस्वर again here त्रिस्थानस्वर is you have to keep saying it twice त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम्
शुश्रावमधुरं गीतं त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम्
स्त्रीणां मदसमृद्धानां दिवि चाप्सरसामिव
स्त्रीणां मदनस्मृद्धानां
aha
स्त्रीणां स्त्रीणां मदसमृद्धानां दिवि चाप्सरसामिव
very good शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिनदम्
शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिदनं निनदम्
शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिनदम्
शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिनदम्
नूपुराणाञ्च निस्वनम्
नूपुराणाञ्च निस्वनम्
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव
सोपाननिनदां so दाम् इश्चैव दांश्चैव
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव
भवनेषु महात्मनाम्
भवनेषु महात्मनाम्
आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च
आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च
निनादांश्च is common here. आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च
आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च
श्वेलितांश्च ततस्ततः.
क्ष्वेलितांश्च ततस्ततः
Correct, very good. शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिनदम् नूपुराणाञ्च निस्वनम्.
शुश्रावकाञ्चीनिदनं
निनदम्.
निनदम् श्रावकाञ्चीनिनदं नूपुराणाश्च निस्वनम्
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव भवनेषु महात्मनाम्.
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव भवनेषु महात्मनाम्
आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च श्वेलितांश्च ततस्ततः.
आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च क्ष्वेलितांश्च ततस्ततः
शुश्रावजपतां तत्र
शुश्रावजपतां तत्र
मन्त्रान् रक्षो गृहेषु वै.
मन्त्रान् रक्षो गृहेषु वै
शुश्रावजपतां तत्र मन्त्रान् रक्षो गृहेषु वै.
शुश्रावजपतां तत्र मन्त्रान् रक्षो गृहेषु वै.
Correct. Once again. Next one. स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव. Once again, Bagni, sorry. Bagni, can you just take the call and tell? क्षम्यता. स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव
स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव
यातु धानान् ददर्श सः.
यातु धानान् ददर्श सः
रावणस्तव संयुक्तान्
रावणस्तव संयुक्तान्
गर्जतो राक्षसानपि.
गर्जतो राक्षसानपि
स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव यातु धानान् ददर्श सः. तांश्चैव
स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव यातु धानान् ददर्श सः.
One more time. Swadhyaya, adhyaya, practicing by oneself. Swadhyaya nirata. So stop there. Swadhyaya niratamश्चैव.
स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव
यातु धानान् ददर्श सः.
यातु धानान् ददर्श सः.
One more time. Full line.
स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव यातु दानान् ददर्शसः
रावणस्तव संयुक्तान् गर्जतो राक्षसानपि
रावणस्त्व रावणस्त्व रावणस्तव रावणस्तव संयुक्तान् गर्जतो राक्षसानपि
करेक्ट राजमार्गं समावृत्य
राजमार्गं समावृत्य
स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत्
स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत्
ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे
ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे
राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून्
राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून्
राजमार्गं समावृत्य स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत्
राजमार्गं समावृत्य स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत्
ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून्
ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे राक्षस राक्षसस्य राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून्
करेक्ट नेक्स्ट वन दीक्षिताञ्जलि दीक्षिताञ्जटिलान् मुण्डान्
दीक्षिता जटिलान् मुण्डान्
तान् दीक्षिताञ्जटिलान् मुण्डान्
दीक्षिता जटिलान् मुण्डान्
I am not hearing the inj. Dikshitam jatilan becomes dikshitanj. Like
दीक्षितान्
di
दीक्षितान् जटिलान् दीक्षिताञ्ज
tan jatilan.
दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान्
गोजिनाम्बर वाससः
गोजिनाम्बरवाससः
दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान्
दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान्
अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा
अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा
दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान् गोजिनाम्बरवाससः
दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान् गोजिनाम्बरवाससः
दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान् अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा तथा
दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान् अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा
वेरी गुड कूटमुद्गरपाणींश्च राम राम भगिनी
Yes, Di.
I can't hear you.
Can I say one more time?
Please do. कूटमुद्गरपाणींश्च
कूटमुद्गरपाणींश्च
वेरी गुड दण्डायुधधरानपि
दण्डायुधधरानपि
एकाक्षानेककर्णाश्च
एकाक्षाणेककर्णाक्षश्च
लम्बोदरपयोधरान्
लम्बोदरपयोधरान्
कूटमुद्गरपाणींश्च दण्डायुधधरानपि
कूटमुद्गरपाणींश्च दण्डायुधधरानपि
एकाक्षानेककर्णाश्च लम्बोदरपयोधरान्
एकाङ्क्षा एकाङ्क्षाणेककर्णांश्च लम्बोदरपयोधरान्
Little slower.
एकाक्षा
Hmm.
एकाक्षाणेककर्णांश्च लम्बोदरपयोधरान्.
Very good. Karalan bhugnavaktraंश्च.
करालान् भुग्न
Kshamita. Karala. Karalan bhugnavaktraंश्च.
करालान् भुग्नवक्त्रांश्च
विकटान् वामनांस्तथा.
विकटान् वामनांस्तथा
धन्विनः खड्गिनश्चैव.
धन्विनः that the kha will come there, no? Aghata of kha.
It will come ih. Dhanvinah ih ha.
Okay.
Dhanvinah khadginashchaiva.
Dhanvinah khadvinashchaiva
Khadginashchaiva.
khadgi khad
Kha id gi na ishchaiva.
khadginashchaiva.
Dhanvinah, those who have the dhanuhu in hand. Khadginah, those who have the khadga, the spear and the dhanu. So these are the warriors there. Chaiva. Dhanvinah khadginaschaiva.
धन्विनः खड्गिनश्चैव
Shatagni musalayudhan.
शतघ्नीमुसलायुधान्.
Correct. Karalan bhugnavaktraंश्च vikatan vamanamstatha.
करालान् भुग्नवक्त्रांश्च विकटान् वामनांस्तथा
Dhanvinah khadginaschaiva. Shatagni musalayudhan.
धन्विनः खड्गिनश्चैव शतघ्नीमुसलायुधान्.
Very good. Parighotama hastamscha.
परिघोत्तमहस्तांश्च
Vichitra kavachojvalan.
कवचोज्ज्वलान्.
One more time.
विचित्रकवचोज्ज्वलान्.
Correct. Nati sthulan. Nati krisha. So there you have to split the in there. Nati sthulan. Nati krishan. So you can split the in here. Nati sthulan. Nati krishan.
नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान्.
Correct. Nati dhirgati hrasvakan.
नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्व
Dirgha.
दीर्घाति. That ha is a hrasva.
Hrasva.
ह्रस्व. नातिदीर्घान्तिह्रस्वकान्.
Nati dirghati hrasvakan. Sorry.
नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान्.
Hrasvakan.
ह्रस्वका.
You can look at hrasvakan.
ह्रस्वकान्.
Dirgha is long, hrasva is short.
Okay.
1 minute. Parighotamahastamscha vichitra kavachojvalan.
परिघोषोत्तम. परिघोत्तमहस्तांश्च.
So stop there. Parighotamahastamscha. So hand, it is describing the hand.
Okay. परिघोत्तमहस्तांश्च विचित्रकवचोज्ज्वलान्
नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान्
नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान्.
Very good. अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान्
अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान्
अतिकुब्जातिवामनान्
अतिकुब्जातिवामनान्
विरूपान् बहुरूपांश्च
विरूपान् बहुरूपांश्च
सुरूपांश्च सुवर्चसः
सुरूपांश्च सुवर्चसः.
करेक्ट अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान् अतिकुब्जातिवामनान्
अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान् अतिकुब्जातिवामनान्
विरूपान् बहुरूपांश्च सुरूपांश्च सुवर्चसः
विरूपान् बहुरूपांश्च सुरूपांश्च सुवर्चसः.
Correct. ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव
ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव
ददर्श विविधायुधान्
ददर्श विविधायुधान्
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव
पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः
पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः.
करेक्ट ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव ददर्श विविधायुधान्
ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव ददर्श विविधायुधान्
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः शाश स्प्लिट and निधारिणः
Okay.
पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः.
full line 1 second ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव ददर्श विविधायुधान्
ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव ददर्श विविधान् युधान्
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः
शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव पट्टिशाशनिधारिणः.
Very good. Very good. Very well repeated. Would you like to try?
Oh, yes, of course. It was very difficult for me.
Yeah, I think
Thank you
a
for that.
few padas are a little tongue twisting in this set. Not many, but even while recording, I found it a little challenging. I think there is one sarga where a lot of padas, I don't remember which one. Just give me a second. I'm just checking YouTube to see. Yeah. I think Pragya Bani is saying the same thing. Many tongue twisting shlokas today.
Thank you for the hand holding. It was, and
Sure.
everybody listened so patiently. I was making so much mistakes. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure everybody is like, my general take is that when somebody who's repeating is having difficulty, then somebody out there is also having a similar difficulty. So even if it is not everybody, I'm sure there is somebody out there who would benefit out of us repeating a pada because it is a little difficult to pronounce.
I was a bit scared. I don't know how it will become.
Do you know some Sanskritam?
Didi, I had in my 8th standard till 10th standard, I had taken 50-50, 50 Hindi and 50 Sanskrit.
Oh, okay. You should have taken full Sanskrit. You seem to have a flair for shlokas. Where are you joining us from?
Didi, I am from Navi Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay, very good. Okay,
Thank.
Let's try.
Okay, Didi.
I love
Sir,
how she says Didi. It sounds very, very personal. Very nice. That's how I know you all call there in Mumbai. But yeah, in Tamil we call, wherever we go, we say Akka or Anna or Mama or Mami, wherever we go. That is how we call we say it in Tamil Nadu too. Like whenever we go to a shop, we say Anna, we say Akka, Bhaiya or Didi, right? But it's very
yeah,
nice to hear Didi when you say it. Even when you're messaging, that is how you say.
it's a bit like, I don't know, it's completely very formal. So I thought I should call you Didi.
Oh yeah, we all need to address. I mean, I think for me personally, when it comes to any kind of learning, especially when it is related to our Sanatana Dharma and our scriptures and anything related to that, the first thing we need to maintain is kind of like mutual respect towards each other. So that comes out of, I know many people who join us from outside the country, they are not used to calling anybody as, sir or madam. While we don't want sir or madam, I think that mutual respect kind of brings in a formal learning environment, which helps us focus a little bit more. So even I have like my own aunt who's part of the learning satsanga. When she meets me, in fact, she has seen me as 1 day or 2 day old, and when I was born. But when she sees me, and when I meet her, she in fact does namaskaram to me. She says, "I learned from you, so you're my guru." So that formal kind of learning always helps us to make sure that we don't distract our mind into anything else, right? So even my best friends who are there as part of learning, they address me with respect, and I address them with respect. Even though we have I've known them for almost 35, 40 years. Um, that formal kind of addressing helps us I think it brings an environment where we are like, okay, this is a place to learn, and we need to have that kind of respect. And indirectly, it is the kind of respect we give to our shastras and our texts and scriptures. So I think that kind of helps. In fact, the teacher whom I learned Vedanta from, he in fact says that sometimes it's best to teach people whom you don't know. When you teach people whom you don't know at all, they will take whatever you say for face value, right? Because they don't know you at all. They only know you from a teacher point of view. They don't know anything about you. So they will not have any doubt anywhere as to, or they will not question, or they will not take anything lightly. Whatever the teacher says, guru says, they will take it to complete face value. So he says that he prefers teaching to people whom he doesn't know personally, so that especially when it comes to Vedanta, there are lots of things that unveil while you are going through the process. And when the guru tries to handhold you, it is good if you don't know him or her at all. So that there is no, when he says something, we will take it very seriously. You won't take it lightly. So that's the reason why I insist on mutual respect, both in our shloka class as well as Sanskritam class. It is not about respecting the person; it is about respecting the forum and respecting the scripture that we are learning. So I think you're probably the only one who has addressed as Didi. So it comes as a sweet note to my.
I
Uh,
hope it's okay.
no,
I
no,
don't
that's
know.
absolutely fine. No, that's absolutely fine. It just feels very sweet when you say that. So I mean it in a very nice way.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yes, Didi.
Mm.
सनिर्जित्य पुरीं श्रेष्ठां लङ्कां तां कामरूपिणीं विक्रमेण महातेजा हनुमान् कपिसत्तमः अद्वारेण महाबाहुः प्राकारमभिपुप्लुबे.
Very good.
प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्कां कपिराजहितङ्करः चक्रेथ पादं सव्यं च शत्रूणां चतुर्मूर्धनि.
The cha comes in the first pada. Chakretha padam savyancha.
चक्रेत पादं सव्यं च शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि.
Second line one more time.
चक्रेत पादं सव्यं च शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धनि.
Very good.
प्रविष्टः समपन्नो प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो निशायां मारुतात्मजः स महापथमहास्थाय समहापथमास्थाय मुक्तां पुष्पविराजितम् ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्कां
Ramyam abhiyaya.
ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्कां रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः.
Actually, if you hold on for a second, I'll just correct this so that whenever we chant, we can Ramya Abhi. Ramyam Abhi. Yam.
हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः तुर्यघोषपुरस्सरैः
Correct.
व्रजां वज्रा व्रजाङ्कुशनिशाश्चैश्च.
One more time.
व्रजाङ्कुश
It's not vra, no? See there?
वज्रा वज्राङ्कुशनिशाश्चैश्च निकाशैश्च. वज्राङ्कुशनिकाश्चैश्च.
Very good.
निकाशै.
Correct.
व्रज व्रजजालविभू.
Vajra.
वज्र. वज्र वज्रजालविभूषितैः.
That line one more time. Take one notch lower for the speed. Little more slower. The coordination between your eye, your brain, and your words will be better. Just a little bit slower. Vajrankushanikashaishcha. Go a little slower.
वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च वज्रजालविभूषितैः गृहमुख्यैः पुरीं रम्याम्.
Puri. Last time also you said.
गृहमुख्यैः पुरी रम्या बभासे धौरिवाम्बुदैः. धौरि. बभासे धौरिवाम्बुदैः प्रज्ज्वालपुरी लङ्का रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः. सीता
Not Sita.
सीता दृशैश्चैत्रैः.
सीताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः.
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 सिताब्र
Mm-hmm.
सिताब्र
Mm.
सिताब्र
Mm.
सिताब्रदृशैश्च सिताब्र सिताब्र सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः पद्मस्वस्तिक पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः वर्धमानग्रहैश्च वर्धमानग्रहैश्चापि सर्वतः सुविभूषिता गृहमुख्यैः पुरी भूयो भभासे द्यौरिवाम्बुदैः
Very good.
तां चित्रमाल्याम्भरणाम्
Mm. You keep adding one. Im. Tam chitramalyabharanam, not malyam.
तां चित्रमाल्याभरणाम् कपिराजहितङ्करः राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान् ददर्श च ननन्द च
Correct.
भवनात् भवनं गच्छन् ददर्श पवनात्मजः विविधाकृतिरूपाणि भवनानि ततस्ततः शुश्राव मधुरं गीतं त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम् स्त्रीणां मद स्त्रीणां मदस्मृद्धानां दिवि चाप्सरसामिव
Mm.
शुश्रावकाञ्चिनिनदम् निनदम् नूपुराणांश्च
Nupu.
नूपुराणांश्च
Aha. Nupu. No, it's not nupura. It's nupuranancha.
नूपुराणांश्च निस्वनम्
Correct.
सोपाननिनदांश्चैव भवनेषु महात्मनाम् आस्फोटितनिनिना आस्फोटितनि आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च क्षे क्षे
Shwe.
श्वेलितां श्वे
Mm.
क्ष्वेलिश्च ततस्ततः
Mm.
शुश्राव जपतां तत्र मन्त्रान् रक्षो ग्रहेषु वै स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव यातु धानान् ददर्श सः रावणस्त्वसंयुक्तान्
Ravanas. No, Ravanas. Stava. Stava.
रावणस्तव
Praising.
तव संयुक्तान् गर्जतो राक्षसानपि राजमार्गं समावृत्य समावृत्य स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत् तदर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून् दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान् दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान्
Correct.
दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान् गोजीनां गोजीनाम्ब नाम
Sorry. Once. Goji Nambara. Split there. Vasasah. Goji Nambara Vasasah.
गोजिनाम्बरवाससः
Mm.
दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान् अग्निकुण्डलयुधांस्तथा अग्निकुण्डायुधा अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा कूटमुद्गर कूटगरपाणिंश्च दण्डायुधधरानपि एकाक्षाणेककर्षांश्च लम्बो एकाक्षाणे एकाक्षाणे कर्णांश्च
one second. एकाक्षानेककर्णाश्च
एकाक्षाणेककर्णाश्च
लम्बोदर go ahead, sorry.
लम्बोदरपयोधरान्
Last line one more time.
एकाक्षाणेककर्णाश्च लम्बोदरपयोधरान् करालान् भुग्नवक्त्रांश्च विकटान् वामनांस्तथा धन्विन् खड्गिनैश्च धन्विन्
Win, not win.
धन्विन्
No.
धन्विनक्
Dhanvinah.
धन्विनक्
Not ik. Ich. Like hello. Ich.
धन्विनः
Dhanvinah. Khadginaschaiva.
धन्विनः खड्गिनश्चैव शतघ्नि मुसलायुधान् परिघोत्तमहस्तांश्च विचित्रकवचोज्ज्वलान् नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान्
You have to say dvitva there. So here natisthulan. You have to say the is twice there.
नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान् ह्रस्वकान्
One more time.
नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान्.
Correct.
अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान् अतिकुब्जाति वामनान् विरूपान् बहुरूपांश्च सुरूपांश्च सुवर्चसः ध्वजीन् पताकिनश्चैव ददर्श विविधायुधान् शक्तिवृक्षायुधांश्चैव पट्टिशासनिधारिणः.
Put that up. Very good.
Thank you, Di. Thank
Well
you.
repeated. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Ram. Okay, I'll quickly go through the 20 shlokas just one more time. I think there were breaks because she was trying to read. Let's do. Sanirjitya purim shreshtham lankam tam kamarupinim vikramena mahateja Hanuman kapi sattamah अद्वारेण महाबाहुः प्राकारमभिपुप्लुवे प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्कां कपिराजहितङ्करः चक्रेथ पादं सव्यञ्च शत्रूणां स तु मूर्धनि प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो निशायां मारुतात्मजः स महापथमास्थाय मुक्ता पुष्पविराजितम् ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्कां रम्याम् अभिययौ कपिः हसितोत्कृष्टनिनदैः तूर्यघोषपुरःसरैः वज्राङ्कुशनिकाशैश्च वज्रजालविभूषितैः गृहमुख्यैः पुरीरम्या बभासेद्योरिवाम्बुदैः प्रजज्वालपुरी लङ्का रक्षो गणगृहैः शुभैः सिताभ्रसदृशैश्चित्रैः पद्मस्वस्तिकसंस्थितैः वर्धमानगृहैश्चापि सर्वतः सुविभूषिता गृहमुख्यैः पुरी भूयो बभासेद्योरिवाम्बुदैः तां चित्रमाल्याभरणा कपिराजहितङ्करः राघवार्थं चरन् श्रीमान् ददर्श च ननन्द च भवनात् भवनं गच्छन् ददर्श पवनात्मजः विविधाकृतिरूपाणि भवनानि ततस्ततः शुश्राव मधुरं गीतं त्रिस्थानस्वरभूषितम् स्त्रीणां मदसमृद्धानां दिवि चाप्सरसामिव शुश्राव काञ्चीनिनदं नूपुराणाञ्च निस्वनम् सोपाननिनदांश्चैव भवनेषु महात्मनाम् आस्फोटितनिनादांश्च श्वेलितांश्च ततस्ततः शुश्राव जपतां तत्र मन्त्रान् रक्षो गृहेषु वै स्वाध्यायनिरतांश्चैव यातु धानान् ददर्श सः रावणस्तव संयुक्तान् गर्जतो राक्षसानपि राजमार्गं समावृत्य स्थितं रक्षो बलं महत् ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून् दीक्षितान् जटिलान् तान् गोजिनाम्बरवाससः दर्भमुष्टिप्रहरणान् अग्निकुण्डायुधांस्तथा कूटमुद्गरपाणिश्च दण्डायुधधरानपि एकाक्षानेककर्णाश्च लम्बोदरपयोधरान् करालान् भुग्नवक्त्रांश्च विकटान् वामनांस्तथा दन्विनः खड्गिनश्चैव शतघ्नी मुसलायुधान् परिघोत्तम हस्तांश्च विचित्रकवचोज्ज्वलान् नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिदीर्घातिह्रस्वकान् अतिगौरान् महाकृष्णान् अतिकुब्जातिवामनान् Virupan bahurupamscha surupamscha suvarchasah Dhvajin patakinashchaiva Dadarsha vividhayudhan Shakti vriksha yudhamschaiva Pattishashanidharinah. The explanation for these 20 is pretty straightforward, not much to discuss. So I thought we will do the 20 tongue twisters once more. Anything that requires clarification? Chaitra Bagni has asked if you can break the words while we are teaching. No, that is not how we learn shloka. When we learn to chant a shloka, we learn by doing pada by pada. So each shloka is split into 4 padas. So the first pada, second pada in the first line, and then third and fourth in the second line. So whenever we learn to chant, we learn pada by pada to as we repeat. Now, when we go through meaning, that time I mentioned the individual padas for each of the vakyams there. So whenever we learn to chant, we don't do it kama, rupini, vikramena, mahateja. You don't learn that way. That is not the krama which is followed by learning to chant. There is a chandas which is maintained for each of the shloka, and we learn to chant in that chandas. We don't stop or split the words when we learn to chant. Okay, I think maybe the second revision helped. So we'll go into the explanation part. So Hanuman won over Lankini, and Lankini in fact blessed him as he entered into Lanka. So now he has the permission to enter into Lanka, and he is going to tour through the city to find out where Sita Devi is. The immigration and customs have been cleared. So we'll see what happens. The set of 20, he's just still going into the city. There is not much in terms of lessons learned. It's just a depiction of the city that is happening. So we'll quickly go through the meaning. In the sargas where there are deep meaning, where there are some things that we have to take away from that, some interpretations, we will focus more. Like for example, in Sarga 1, each of the obstacle meant something. Hanuman responded to each of the obstacles in a different way. So there were a lot of key takeaways in the first Sarga. I think even in the second and third, there were parts where we could take some lessons learned. This particular set of 20 is very straightforward. It's still the description of Lanka which is happening. Saha nirjitya purim shreshtham lankam tam kama rupini vikramena mahateja Hanuman kapi sattamah advarena mahabahuhu prakaram abhipupluve. Now, whenever you have a country, typically you will have a wall around the country, especially in those days when you used to have an outer fort, and Lanka being an island, around or surrounding the island as a protection, there was this huge wall that was erected. And then, of course, whenever you're entering a country, there will be one opening, which is the main entrance or the main dwara or the main gate through which you enter. Now, Hanuman cleverly decides that he will not wait for a moment that the main dwaram or the entrance or the gate could have been kept open, but he didn't want to go through that. So what he did was, Saha Nirjitya, after conquering Purim Shreshtham, the great city of Lanka, here still referred to Lankini, who Kamarupini, she who could actually take any form that she wanted. Vikramena, how did he conquer? So the continuation of the Tritiya Sarga is happening here. Vikramena Mahateja. So by his through his valor, his courage, his bravery, Mahateja, the one who is extremely brilliant. He has the tejas on his face. Hanuman, that Hanuman. Kapi Sattamaha, he is the best amongst the Vanaras. What did he do? Advarena, not Dwarena means through the main gate. Advarena means not through the main gate. Mahabahuhu, the mighty armed, just with the left hand, he could slap, give a tight slap to Lankini. Mahabahuhu, Prakaram. Prakaram is the outer. We even in temples we say, right, inner Veli Prakaram. We say Prakaram, it's actually Prakaram. Prakaram and then inner Prakaram. So Abhipupluve. So what? He leaped over. So just like somebody who is a little bit secretive in nature, what did he do? He intelligently decided that he didn't want to go through the main entrance. He somehow, being a monkey, he managed to climb the huge wall of the fort that was built around, and he leaped over that boundary wall. So instead of taking the obvious path, which would have been, oh, I got permission from Lankini, and she said I can go inside and I can roam around the city and look around the city. Now, there would be Dwarapalakas there, and they might not buy his words, and he might have to again encounter them and win over them. So he decided that he has to do it in a stealthy manner. So he entered Lanka by leaping over the wall. And I can't imagine the kind of emotion one experiences when we get into the enemy country. And hats off to our soldiers who are defending our country, day in and day out. When they have to fight and they have to get into the enemy territory to fight, it is nothing but sheer bravery and courage and the patriotism that they have and duty-bound emotion that they feel. They have to save the country. So I can't even imagine entering into a house where I don't feel comfortable. Entering into a house where I feel like, there is somebody out there who doesn't like me. So forget entering into an enemy territory. So Hanuman, now he is stepping into the actual territory and he decides that he will go through the wall. Pravishya Nagarim Lankam Kapiraja Hitankaraha Chakre Atha Padam Savyam Cha Shatrunam Satu Murdhani. So what he did, there is a specific act that is happening here. When he entered, so generally whenever we do something auspicious, what do? We always keep forward or offer or anything we give, anything we receive. Whenever we do a praveshanam, it is always the right foot, right hand that comes forward. But here, savya means left. Hanuman actually keeps his left foot forward. And when that is done, it is a symbolic act, which is an unsaid thing, where it automatically gives them the power to win over their enemies. So Hanuman is confident that he will be able to win over whomever he will have to face. So here, Lanka, it is time for your downfall. You are not going to survive too long, just like Lankini fell over, you are going to fall as well. So when he entered, maybe not even, it might not even have been a conscious effort. Automatically, when he goes in with the confidence that, he will win over the city, Sita will be rescued, Sita will be found and rescued. Pravishya, as he enters that Lanka city, Lanka Nagari, Kapiraja Hitankaraha. So Kapiraja here refers to Sugriva, one who is acting on behalf of Sugriva. So it was Sugriva who had given the word to Rama. So he is fulfilling the promise of Sugriva, Hitankaraha. one acting for the benefit. So even if Hanuman is able to find Sita and report back to Rama, that means Sugriva's words would have been kept, his promise would have been kept. So he is acting, he is doing something to for the benefit or to keep up the words of Kapiraja, the king of Kapis. Now it is Sugriva. Now what did he do? Chakre, he placed what? Padam, he placed his foot. But which foot? He placed the Savyam, is left. And what does this indicate? It indicates that the downfall of the enemy is about to begin. Yeah, so Shatruna Murdhani. So Shatru here refers to enemy. Murdhani means is as though you're keeping the foot on their head. So it's kind of like, you're going to conquer them. That is the kind of emotion that it depicts. Pravishtaha Sattva Sampannaha Nishayam Marutatmajaha Saha Mahapatham Asthaya Mukta Pushpa Virajitam. So what did he see? Pravishtaha. So as he entered, Sattva Sampannaha, he who has a lot of strength and intelligence. When did he enter? It was still night. Nishayam Marutatmajaha, Marutasya Putra. So he is the son. He is the son of wind god. I'm just trying to think. Marutaha Putraha, not as Marutasya. So the son of Vayu. Saha. What did he do? Mahapatham Astaya. Mahapatha means path. So the English word path came from the Sanskrita pada, which is patha. So from the streets of Lanka, Astaya, having reached there, what did he see? The streets were decorated. Mukta Pushpa Virajitam. They were shining with mukta, pearls, and pushpa, and flowers. It was a beautiful scene to look at. And he was paying attention to every single detail. And Valmiki is describing Lanka through the eyes of Hanuman to us. So Hanuman had this ability to notice small things, attention to detail. And even though it was night, still the city was glowing and Hanuman was experiencing that. Tataha tu tam purim lankam ramyam abhiyayau kapihi. So what he decided? I am going to enter into the city. Abhiyayau means I am proceeding further. Now there is nobody else to stop. Hopefully not. Tataha tu, after that, then Purim Lankam Ramyam, that beautiful city of Lanka, Abhiyayo, I am going to proceed to further. Kapihi, that Kapi proceeded further. And then what happens? Hasitaha Akrishta Ninadaihi Turya Ghoshapuraha Saraihi Vajra Ankusha Nikashaihi Cha Vajrajala Vibhushitaihi Griha Mukyaihi Puri Ramya Babhase Dyauriva Ambudaihi. So the city of Lanka was shining very beautifully, and at the same time there was this Ninada, means the sound, and Ghosham that was happening. Hasita means laughter. So the laughter which was heard, he is entering at night. We would have expected the city would have been quiet, and there would have been absolute silence in the city where everybody is sleeping. And that is in fact one of the I am the wrong person to quote this, but I will anyway say it. I think that is one of the sattvic practices one can have, right? You sleep through the night and then you wake up early in the morning. So I plead guilty here where I don't follow it. I'm a late sleeper and a late riser. So in general, the sattvic nature of a city and the health of a city is described by the fact that everybody sleeps. Even, in fact, there is a famous poem that says, the city was so so heavenly to look at that even a madman would sleep. So Ninadaihi, Turiya Ghoshapuraha. So there was a lot of musical instruments. Turiya Ghoshapuraha. There was musical instruments that were being heard. Vajra Ankusha Nikashaihi. And the place was studded with Vajra Ankusha. It had these grand palaces and Vajrajala Vibhushitaihi. It had these diamond-like, Vajrajalam means diamond, diamond-like Vibhushitaihi, decorations that were there. Griha Mukyaihi, all these important buildings which were there that were adorning the city. Puri Ramya, those buildings made the city Ramya very beautiful. And then Bhabase, it was shining. Bhasate means shining. That is why sun is called Bhaskaraha, because he shines. Bhabase. Dyauri Vambudaihi. So like a sky which is filled with clouds. It is a feast for the eyes to look at. So as he entered the city of Lanka, it was shining beautifully. At the same time, he was experiencing the sense organ of his eyes experiencing a delight, and at the same time his ears also were experiencing the satisfaction of hearing laughter, the musical instruments, and at the same time he was able to understand that these diamond studded buildings and important bhavanams were making the city look extremely beautiful, just like a sky which is filled with white clouds. Whenever the sky, either it is spotless, or when you see, a pattern of clouds, it is very attractive to look at. So, and the other thing is, Lanka is actually inhabited by Rakshasas. So in general, whenever we have this thing about divinity versus evil, right? Even in like movies, you would see a person who is very good, the house would be like really nice, spotless, clean, everything in place. And on the other hand, when they are portraying, the villain or the gundas or the rowdies, things would be like all over, half-eaten plates, broken bottles. So in general, the depiction would be that if you are evil inside, your surroundings also are evil. If you are divine inside, your surroundings are also divine in nature. They depict, the purity and cleanliness and everything. But here, the city is actually inhabited by Rakshasas, but however, the city's portrayal looks divine. Like, in fact, there was one shloka where it felt as though Amaravati was there right on earth, which is the city for devas. So what you see, don't judge a book by its cover, right? So what you see, what is a feast for your eyes, is not the actual depiction of what the city actually is, or who this city is inhabited by. So Lanka was grand and it was extremely delightful to look at, but it had all these evil Rakshasas who were there. Of course, even at night, the Rakshasas were rejoicing, and there was this importance which was given to pleasure, satisfying your sense organs. And even though all these were there in Lanka, it was still an adharmic place, because it was ruled by a king who was not dharmic in nature. Prajajwala Puri Lanka Raksho Gana Grihaihi Shubhaihi. So there were grand houses. Griham is house. We call it Griha Pravesham. Griha is house, Pravesham is entering. So the auspicious entering into the house that happens is Griha Pravesham. Gana is group. Raksho Gana is the group of Rakshasas. So it has lot of these houses which belong to the mighty Rakshasas. And even though it was inhabited by Rakshasas, the city was shining and it was beautiful to look at. So Valmiki, I think, is trying to say that The city was well built, well maintained, well structured, and it perfect vacation or a tourist place, if one might say. But then the kind of people who are there is not the kind of people whom you want to be associated with. Sitabhra sadrishaihi chitraihi padma swastika samstitaihi vardhamana grihaihi sarvataha suvibhushita grihamukyaihi puri bhuyaha bhabase dyaurivambudaihi. So again, there were a lot of these main buildings. He saw bhuya. Bhuya means again and again. So wherever he went, this is what he was seeing. What was he seeing? Sitabhra sadrishaihi, like, these towering mansions that were almost resembling huge structures hitting the cloud. Chitraihi. Chitram is always very beautiful to look at. Padma swastika samstitaihi. It has the houses and the mansions and the towers had these symbols that were there, like kind of a mudrika, Padma, which is lotus, swastika, the swastika symbol, which were there. Vardhamana grihaihi, it also had these tall mansions where everywhere. Suvibhushita, these were, bhushanam is decoration or ornamented. They were well decorated. Grihamukyaihi, here again, important mansions or palaces. Again, he kept seeing similar structures as he moved further. Tam Chitramalya Bharanam Kapiraja Hitankaraha Raghavartam Charan Shriman Dadarsha Chananandacha. So as he was moving into the city, whenever our eyes and ears are satisfied, I mean, these are the ones which are easily satisfiable, because even if you don't want to talk, you can shut your mouth. If you don't want to grab something, you can hold your hand. But even eyes, when you shut, you can still experience something that is happening around you. Ears, how much ever you shut, there will be still the sound that reaches you. So eyes and ears are kind of something that we cannot completely control. So, and those were the two sense organs which were satisfying Hanuman here, through the sight and through the music or the laughter. Laughter is always positive in nature, right? When you have these laughter therapies and laughter groups that are there, which brings out a lot of positive emotions within us. So again, Kapiraja Hitankaraha, that Hanuman, who was working towards the benefit or the glorious servant of Sugriva, he roamed. Charan means he was roaming. He was moving through the city. And of course, he is again reminding himself Raghavartam, for the sake of Hanuman, Raghava. And as he moved through the city, Dadarsha cha Nanandacha, he was seeing and he was rejoicing. He was happy. Once again. Bhavanat Bhavanam Gachan Dadarsha Pavanatmajah Vividha Kriti Rupani Bhavanani Tataha. So Bhavanat Bhavanam, he kept going from Bhavanam, here is building, from one mansion, from one building to another. Gachan, as he was moving, Dadarsha, what did he do? He was seeing Pavanatmajah. Who was seeing? Hanuman was seeing. What was he seeing? Vividha Kriti Rupani, various forms, various shapes, various heights of these buildings. Bhavanani, he was seeing these mansions or building. Tatas tataha, everywhere. Wherever he was going, that is what he was seeing. Shushrava Madhuram Geetam. Tristhana Swara Bhushitam. Strinam Mada Samriddhanam Divi Cha Api Apsarasam Iva. Sorry. Divi Cha Apsarasam Iva. So Shushrava, he was hearing Madhuram Geetam, sweet music. Tristhana Swara Bhushitam. The three notes were heard, right? Whenever there is music, you have the low note, the middle, and the pitch. The people who are making this music or singing or creating these musical notes were so talented that they were able to reach the lower, reach the middle, and reach the upper. In general, most of us can bear with the middle. Sometimes it's very difficult to reach the low note. Many of us struggle to reach the upper pitch. Tristhana, all the three sthanas of the swara, the lower, middle, and the upper pitch. Bhushitam, very, very beautifully, the musical notes were being adorned. By whom? Strinam, by women. Madha Samriddhanam, they were in an intoxicated state. But they were sounding as though the Apsaras were singing in Divi. Divi means the heaven. So even though these Rakshasis who were intoxicated were making these musical notes, and they were able to touch all the three pitches very easily and sweet sounding. We might touch, but it has to sound sweet. They were spot on and it was perfectly musical to listen to. So it resembled the melodies that are being done by the Apsaras, where Divi, in the heaven. So even though they were Rakshasis and they are in general not nice natured, they were indulged in pleasure activity, which is why mother intoxication. And at night they were doing this singing, and that was happening in a city where the king actually has held Sita captive, and Sita, who must be experiencing a lot of sorrow. So this is an exact contrast to the emotion that Sita would be experiencing. So that is what dharma versus adharma is, right? If, okay, the king did a mistake and the king did an adharmic act, but if the city or the people of the city were aware of dharma, they will be lamenting that, Sita is held captive here and Sita is married to somebody else. Ravana already has a wife and he's forcefully taken her and brought her here. So, and these Rakshasis and Rakshasas were completely ignorant of dharma. So even though the king has done an unlawful act, adharmic act, it did not bother them. They were continuing with their enjoyment, their pleasure, completely, turned their face away from dharma. So that is what we should infer from here. Shushrava Kanchi Ninadam Nupuranam Cha Niswanam Sopana Ninadam Cha Eva Bhavaneshu Mahatmanam Aspotita Ninadamscha Shvelitascha Tatastataha. So there were a lot of jingling noise and laughter and clapping and shouting and the resonation of sound that was happening. So Hanuman, Shushrava, heard Kanchi Ninadam. Kanchi is the waist belt, the Odyanam as we call. That is why the place where Odyanam or the Madhyama Sthalam is called Kanchipuram. Ninadam, Nupura, we all know the anklets. So in general, bangles, Nupuram, and the waist Odyanam or the waist belt, they all have these tinkling small bells which are attached to it. So whenever we move, the woman moves, it makes a kind of tinkling attractive noise. which is soothing to hear, which is why they generally suggest that married women should wear that. It has to bring the right kind of vibes in the family. Nisvanam, which is the echoing of the sound. Sopana ninadamsh. And then as you go up the staircase, the kind of movement that is experienced as you climb, that was also making a musical sound. And Bhavaneshu Mahatmanam. So these were the buildings of some great Rakshasas there. And it as though you feel like you are entering into the city which was filled with Mahatmas. But that is not the fact here. The fact is that it is filled with Rakshasas. Aspotita Ninadamsha. So Aspotakam means clapping. Clapping sounds were being heard because whenever there is music, the clapping happens, and clapping actually generates a lot of positive enzymes within our body. So the brain secretes the enzymes which keep our body, healthy, which is why Nama Sankirtanam and bhajans, they actually say when you sing, you participate and you clap. The clapping brings a lot of joy. The joyful emotion is brought out. Shvelitamscha, this when you are completely into something, your pitch sort of like goes up, and you can kind of hear yourself really loud. So the loudness of the voice. From where did this happen? Wherever Hanuman went, tatastataha, every place he went, he was experiencing this kind of jingling noise along with laughter, clapping, joyful shouts, which were resonating in all mansions. And of course, the climbing of staircase, one experiences the tuck 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 sound, right? He was able to hear that as well. Now he is hearing something different. What is he hearing? Shushrava japatam tatra mantran raksho griheshu vai. He's suddenly hearing japatam, the chanting, where mantran, he's hearing the mantra japa inside the houses of some of the Rakshasas. Are they sattvic in nature? What mantra are they actually chanting? But he could hear some kind of chanting that is happening. So mantra in general is referred to something sacred in nature. So the sacred chants were happening in the house of Rakshasa Griha. So what is happening there? And then he also noticed Swadhyaya Niratan cha eva yathu dhanan dadarsha saha Ravanas tava sayuktan garjataha rakshasanapi. So he saw some of them were actually reciting something from scriptures. We have to keep in mind that Ravana, though he did the adharmic act, he was a bhakta of Shiva. So it is not that the entire city was only evil kind of worship. That is not the case. Though they were Rakshasas, he was ruled by a king who also had another side. So he was one of the greatest Shiva devotees. So whenever something needs to happen in the city, he needs to have people who can actually do puja and worship and whatever that samarpana needs to be done to Shiva. So, or any other sattvic puja for that matter. So there were a few. So Hanuman saw some of them who were reciting some scriptures. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya in general means that Swa Adhyaya means study of scriptures and reciting by themselves. They were chanting, but there were few others. Yathu dhanan means the Rakshasas, Ravanastava, even at night. Now Ravana is sitting somewhere, they are sitting somewhere else. All they were doing is stava. Stava means in general praise, something which is done in praise of somebody else. So stavanam. So these Rakshasas were Dharjataha, they were chanting loudly the praise of Ravana. And that is what was happening. So he also heard Garjataha Rakshasanapi, some loud roaring. So there was some japa chanting that was happening possibly from the scriptures. Maybe few of the Rakshasas who have done the Swadhyaya and they are capable of chanting these mantras and doing the japa. And the other Rakshasas were happily contented, not doing the mantra japa, but they were actually doing the chant, which was nothing but praise of Ravana. Rajamargam samavritya sthitam raksho balam mahat dadarsha madhyame gulme rakshasasya charan bahun. So as he was moving in, he saw Rajamargam, the main street, Samavritya. As he entered, it was being blocked. By whom? Sthitam. Somebody was standing there. Raksho Balam. There was a huge army force, Mahatta, a great army force. Dadarsha, as he observed, Madhyame, in the middle, Gulme. There were different kinds of soldiers who were assembled there. Rakshasasya, of the Rakshasas. Charan. So Charati means these are people who go on through foot, by foot. So these are in general, it could be the guards, the patrolling people who move around. And how many did he see? Bahun. He saw many of them. So Hanuman saw a huge army of Rakshasas. With that army was standing in the middle of the main street and kind of like blocking to make sure that nobody enters or goes beyond. And he also noticed that there were lots of spies and guards and patrolling folks who were positioned at different places, and they were moving around as well and being extremely alert. So Ravana had this great army that was supporting him. Dikshitan, Jatilan, Mundan, Goho, Ajinambara Vasasaha, Dharba, Mushti, Praharanan, Agni Kunda, Ayudham, Tatha. So here, as he was moving, Hanuman also saw different kind of people. From 15, it's just like different kind of people and how they looked is being described here. So he saw Dikshitan in general, Dikshidargal as we call, they are people who have the ability to perform certain kind of rituals. So they would have had a specific kind of study, and they have the power to initiate certain kind of rituals. So they have the skill to do that. Jatilan, and he also saw a few who had jata, which is the matted hair. Mundan, some of them were actually bald-headed. And then he actually saw them wearing ajinambara. So they were wearing garments which were made from cow hide and ajina is deer skin. Vasasaha. So they were dressed through in that form. And then he also saw dharba, which is the most sacred grass. Mushti, handful, praharanan. They were holding the weapons in the hand. Agni kunda, so the fire altar or the kunda that we have. Ayudhan. They also were having lots of weapons. Tatha. So as he was moving around, he was seeing different kind of people. So he saw Dikshitan, so these kind of special people who are maybe a little bit of, sattvic, ascetic in nature. He saw a few who had matted hair. Some of them didn't have any hair at all. They were bald in nature. He saw a few who were wearing attire or garments that were made of cow hide and deer skin. And then some held the darba grass in their fist as weapon. I think they were probably, these people who would do rituals, like any vadyar that we would see, any priest, who does homa, they would always carry darba in their hand. And then others also were carrying these weapons. Some of them were actually holding the Agni Kunda. So as though some ritual is about to happen there. And then what is he seeing? Kuta Mudgara Panincha Danda Ayudha Dharan Api Eka Aksha Eka Karna Lambodara Payodharan. So he saw different kinds of warriors there. So he saw Kuta Mudgara. Kuta is basically spiky in nature. Mudgara is the mace, the club or the mace. And Pani in the hand, Danda Ayudha, the staff or the rod or the long stick that you have. Muruga has the name Dandayuda Pani, the one who has the danda in his hand. Dharan, holding or carrying. Eka Aksha, suddenly he started seeing people who were not normal to look at. Eka Aksha, one-eyed. Eka Karna, 1 ear was not there. Only 1 ear was there. Lambodara, and they were extremely huge structured, huge belly that he was looking at. And then Payodharan, they had these broad chest. And so whenever we look at somebody who is off in nature, it kind of catches our attention and there is an unsettling feeling that we experience. Somebody who's different from us, right? You have to work on not reacting when we look at such people. So, somebody who has skin issue, or somebody who's experienced a burn. When we look at somebody who's experienced a burn, suddenly it just like hits us to see the burnt skin. So Hanuman was looking at different kinds of warriors who were holding different kinds of weapons. Some were one-eyed, some were one-eared, some had huge belly, I think a lot of appetite, and then broad chest. But at the end of the day, they were all warriors who were extremely fearful and fierce to look at. So it should have instilled fear in somebody that who looks at such people. Karalan, Bhugna Vaktran, Cha, Vikatan, Vamanan, Tatha, Dhanvinaha, Khadginaha, Cha Eva, Shatagni, Musala Ayudan. Again, he was looking at terrifying people. Karalan, very monstrous to look at. Bhugna Vaktram means deformed face. Vikatan, kind of terrific or terrible to look at. And then Vamana means suddenly you see like huge structures and suddenly you see these short Vamana, short people, dwarves. And then he also noticed a lot of the people in the army were carrying different kinds of weapons. Danvinaha means they were carrying the bows. Khadginaha means the sword. And then Shatagni, heavy weapons, which is not easy to hold. And this could also mean they had these weapons which were like, missiles which, strike immediately and it would immediately cause destruction. So these kinds of weapons were being carried by different kind of people in that army. So there was no just one uniform structure. If the enemy is short, the short dwarves would take, at attacking the short form or the enemy part which matches their height. If the enemy has these tall structured people, they will tackle, right? If the enemy has these Ghora people, then the Ghora people will come to attack. So it's very terrifying to look at. So the army was not made of one kind. It had this multitude of people, different kind, multitude of Rakshasas who were differently abled, differently weaponed, different stature, so that they can attack at the enemy accordingly. Parigha Uttama Hastancha Vichitra Kavacha Ujwalan Na Ati Sthula Na Ati Krishan Na Ati Dhirga Na Ati Hrasva. So he also saw these soldiers or warriors who were holding the iron clubs, and it was something unique to look at, and they were wearing the kavacham or the armor which typically protects the warriors, and they were well balanced in nature. Sthula is fat, Krisha is thin, Dirgha is tall, and Hrasva is short. So they were right kind of soldiers who had the power to attack. So you had these differently abled, differently looking army as well. And then there was a set of people, set of warriors, soldiers in the army who were somewhat balanced to look at in terms of physical appearance. Ati Gauran, Maha Krishnan, Ati Kubjati Vamanan, Virupan, Bahurupamscha, Surupan cha Suvarchasaha. And then again, he saw some demons who were very, Gaura means white, Gauri, fair complexion. Krishna is black, extremely dark to look at. Kubja is hunchback. We have a character from Krishna's Charitam, right? Kubja. And then Vamana is again dwarf. Virupa is deformity. Bahurupamscha, these ugly appearances. But on the other hand, there were others too. Surupa means pleasing to look at, very nice to look at, handsome to look at. Suvarchasaha, they were shining brilliantly. So as he is moving along, he is looking at, maybe in his mind, he is calculating, for each of these armies, you can call it like a gana of army or a group of army, which is segregated. When they have to fight the war, which set of Vanaras will be able to tackle. And that is why maybe Valmiki is saying that Hanuman is paying attention to each and everything that he is noticing. As and when the time comes, he will be able to provide a strategy to take care and handle each of the group that he has seen from the past. And the last one, Dhvajinaha Patakinaha cha eva dadarsha vividha ayudan shakti vriksha ayudan cha eva pattisha ashani dharinaha. So he also saw warriors who represent the country, right? And whenever you represent the country, we see that in Olympics, even when a depiction of war happens between two Rashtras, to represent which one the soldiers belong to, there is a banner or a flag which is carried. So there were a bunch of people, bunch of Rakshasas who were carrying those banners and flags. And they also had different kinds of weapons. So they had these Shakti Vriksha Ayudan, they had these spears, tree-like, huge, these massive rods which almost resembled a tree. They had Pattishasha Nidharinaha. So they had these thunderbolt like weapons, these broad swords and axes which they could use in case there is a fight or a war or a battle that happens. So this army, even though at night, it looked as though they were well prepared to tackle anything. And that is what we have to take away. They had wide variety of appearances. They had wide variety, but they were very well organized. You can see Hanuman as he is moving around, they're all in kind of groups, right? The first group, how they look, the second group, how they look, the third group, how they look, and the last group that he described where they were carrying the flag and the banner. And each of them bring a different kind of strength to the table. They all had different kinds of weapons which could be used for different kinds of attacks. And the power lies in Hanuman's observational skill here, where he was the only one who was present there, and he was the only one who has come for Ramakaryam. But then he took note of every single detail, and he was kind of developing a strategy in his mind, which will come handy at the right time. And that is probably in Yuddha Ganda, or even at the time when the planning happens to come into Lanka. So I think the takeaway here is how Ravana has constructed his army, and how the Rakshasis were, they were enjoying, they were rejoicing, even though some adharmic act has happened. Like even today, when we hear a national news where some unkind act has happened, right? Though we might be powerless to do something, there we will experience some kind of emotion, right? So I think the depiction is that the Rakshasis are completely oblivious to the fact that Sita was being held captive and she's experiencing sorrow, and that was not a right thing to do. And they were in their own world, enjoying and giving into pleasure and laughing and having fun. So that is what the takeaway is. Of course, the attention to detail that Hanuman was observing in each and every set, every group, as he moved across from one to the other. I will upload the recordings for practice. You can also go back and listen to the live recording. Few of the shlokas here are kind of challenging to grasp. So next week, Friday is actually, I think, Karade or Nomba, and I think it's falling in the evening. So we won't be able to meet on Friday. I'm hoping that we will have a class on Saturday, and I will confirm in the group. So we'll need volunteers for Nevedyam, for revision of shloka, for repeating, and for summarizing the explanation. Look for my message maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, and I will confirm about the class on Saturday. But Friday, we won't have class because it's Karadiyan. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tatsat Mahaparivā Sharanam. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Jai Shankara Hara Hara Shankara. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Hanuman. Thank you all for joining. Ram Ram Ram. Keep chanting, keep practicing, keep listening. It will really help us get into Sundara Kandam.